Next up, man, we are going to talk about DJ Akademiks. So DJ Akademiks is popular. He's going viral online because he made some comments. He's actually made a few comments over the last few days. He talked about old dusty rappers, um, and he corrected his comments about old dusty rappers. Essentially, he clarified his remarks by saying what he was getting at was the problem in the hip hop industry with older generations of rappers who don't want to help bring along new generations of rappers. But that's not what we're going to talk about. What we are going to talk about is comments that he made in relation to Reginae Carter. Reginae Carter is the daughter of Lil Wayne, and what's his mom's name? I forget it off the top of my head. I should know this, but I forget off the top of my head. But she's the daughter of Lil Wayne, and DJ Akademiks made some comments about her and her YouTube presence, and she's on it now with some new boyfriend and her past dating choices, and you know and basically he was insinuating that a lot of these women ain't really down for the cause. They ain't really ride or die. So we'll just go ahead and play what he said, and then we'll talk about that afterwards. So the clip is a part of an Instagram feed, so it's not a whole video clip, but you can hear what he had to say. Once we go ahead and hit play, you'll be able to hear it, and look towards the bottom and you'll see what he was talking about.
Loved hood niggas. She loved YFN Lucci. That was her nigga. That was her nigga, bro. She loved a hood nigga. He had Thug Life tatted across his chest. I think even Wayne got Thug Life tatted across his chest. She loved that nigga, showing up to all type of BT celebrity basketball games. She loved that nigga, man. You know these bitches, like, let me not call it. Like, you know these chicks be like, yo, they love a hood nigga. Of course they love a hood nigga. So that nigga facing 25 to life. The fuck, nigga. Everything was all good with him until she realized that nigga caught a Rico. She seen that murder charge on this shit. Nigga, I've never seen a chick quickly. Reginae, some nigga named Armand. I don't even know who this nigga is. Like, nigga, she was downgraded. Like, she just got some random nigga. Nigga, she don't like thugs no more. She like, nigga.
What's up, my name and naysayers? What is going on?
Nigga, she got with a nigga. No disrespect to him. Don't try to fight me, bro. Like, I'm not like that. It's cool. She got with a nigga who looked more feminine than her. Like, you feel me? Yo, nigga, she got with a nigga who, like, the opposite of gangster. Like, nigga, she got with a nigga who she could do guessing games, mukbangs and all that shit with, bro. You see, when she was with YFN Lucci, she was loving the thug shit. Look. Bro, she got with a nigga that been doing question and answers for the last 3 months. I don't even know what they do. All they do is, hey, here we are, guys, another Q&A. I'm like, what the fuck do y'all do? Like, that's it. Either that or it's like mukbangs. Let's look it up. Reginae mukbang. You know, yo, first of all, the only bang pause that motherfucker YFN Lucci was doing was gangbanging, nigga. He wasn't doing no mukbang. He was gangbanging, nigga. He was in the streets. She was loving that shit when she was with him. Now that nigga in jail, he might not never come home. This is what she doing. Mukbangs.
So let's dig in.
Let's go. Okay.
Let's dig in. Put on your bib. Let's go, guys. Let's get the crab legs. This nigga Lucci fighting for his life behind bars. Thug sent a million niggas to try to kill him. He's over here trying to, like, wrap his arms with toilet papers and like and fucking bed sheets to try not get cut and stabbed up. His girl is out here like, okay, let's enjoy the fucking crab legs.
Let's do.
No more free YFN from her. Fuck that. It's over. She gotta continue her clout in her life. Too fuck children.
Okay. So, baby C.
I guarantee this nigga don't claim a fucking gang in the fucking world. Is that my landscaper? I might have to check them niggas. Them niggas is aggressive. Hold on.
And I'm mukbang. I think that last is 2 1.
Look, see? Let me tell you this, man. And by the way, salute to her. She's just not a girl that gonna be doing the. You have a collect call from the Fulton County Jail. She's not gonna do that, bro. Like, she wanna live her life. Like, she only date y'all niggas for clout. She's Lil Wayne's daughter. Fuck y'all niggas. Y'all gonna go to jail? Every girl like a thug until the thug really faces 25 to life, bro. Them phone calls will only go for a little bit of time. Then she got to get back to get lit, nigga. I guarantee. Look at YFN Lucci. I want to look YFN Lucci, Reggie. Reginae loves hood niggas. She loved YFN.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right, so yeah, that's enough.
Yeah. And
And
by the way, bro, I put the wrong image there, so you could take that down. I thought this was the Ti thing because he went on Ti daughter too. This he on some other stuff with academics.
it's all relevant though because he responded, so it's all relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so and then Reginae's mom, Lil Wayne's baby's mother, responded. Latoya, that's her name. Um, she said, "At academics, I can't stand men that do bitch shit. Keep my daughter name out your mouth. Clout chasing is at an all-time high. Let her live her 23-year-old life. Worry about you and yours. Thanks." I hate when I let people take me out my character, but one thing about it, I don't play about my kids. At academics, stop playing with my child. You too. She used the wrong two, but whatever. You too grown to be worrying about what a 23-year-old doing. Calling her a bitch and all that other shit is not cool. You men are worse than females, and this shit is getting out of hand. So that was what she said. She responded to him. So he mentioned a lot of stuff there. He talked about, her liking gangbangers. She was previously in a relationship with YFN Lucci, who was looking at extensive prison time called a RICO. You've mentioned that whole RICO thing in the past and the issue going on with the hip hop industry. And how now she's with this guy. And he basically was intimating that she was all about the gang banging and the thug life stuff until he got bammed. And now that he's bammed, she's like trying to do different things and make it seem as though she's not really about that. And so I guess he was calling out the contradiction there. Um, so there's multiple angles in terms of what he said in that clip. So I thought that we'd bring this up because I thought it was interesting on a couple of different levels. But did you have any initial remarks about what he said?
I get the I get the angle in which he was talking about, but the thing is with academics, and you see how gassed up he was in that clip there. So I'm pretty sure most people who are aware of academics, well, he was probably on that Henny that night, and everybody that's in his Discord or his chat or whatever the hell he's got going on ranges from the age of 11 to 17. All right. There's some outlier people out there that's a little bit older, but I would argue the next bracket of his fans are between the ages of 18 and 25. Um, so his whole thing is those kids gas him up, and he's talking to a constituency of people who don't really view world consequences the same way as adults do. And so for his mom to reach out, because when you're saying stuff on the internet and you're as big as academics is, and you're talking about people's children, yeah, you're going to get a response back from that. Back in my IG days, when I was real heavy on IG, I would have some slanderous stuff to say about certain people who I was aware of that I didn't follow, but there were people who followed me and the person I was slandering. And the people that were cross reference would pretty much, they wouldn't check me, but it was kind of a thing of, hey man, that's not cool. Hey, you're cool. Why are you doing this? I said, because that guy's a duck. That's why. And so but hey man, that's not cool. But then I realized out there that there's a lot of people. I mean, I know there's a lot of people on the internet. There's a lot of people on the internet, and everybody knows somebody. And so when you're around here just thrashing people like that, it's going to get back to somebody. And so I realized that the better way of dealing with my online conflicts is to not be so confrontational, not be so judgmental. And it's not that I'm biting my tongue. It's a thing where whatever I'm saying, if I can't say it in this person's face, I ain't going to say it. I will tell Akademiks in his face that all of your fans are kids, and that whatever everything I got to say about Akademiks right now, and I'm going to say some stuff later, I'm sure I will say it in his face. So I don't really care. But him, when he's talking about, people who are in the industry and stuff like that, yeah, man, people are gonna bite back and bark back at him. And yeah, I agree with the mother on this one. He need to stay in his place, stay in his lane, but he is covering hip hop. He is a hip hop journalist, and this is his brand of journalism. So I think they're both I see where Akademiks was coming from, and I damn sure know where the mama coming from. But what were your initial thoughts with this?
Yeah, you use the term journalism loosely. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Uh, Academics is one of these content creators who is devoid of nuance. Um, he is popular, I can only imagine, because of shock value. I don't know that anyone who seeks content for substance follows him, because he never presents any of his commentary with any sort of nuance. It's just flamed and laced with incendiary language. Every other word that came out of his mouth was the N word. That's a whole other subject. Like, you talk about confusion surrounding the invocation of that word. He'll be the first person that gets mad when someone uses the word who he thinks shouldn't be using it, yet he has a platform that services people who exist in those very communities, and he's using the word. So he is a part of the issue with the confusion behind that word, and how we need to reevaluate whether it's even worth getting upset that people should and should not be using the word in the first place. But he represents to me one of the reasons why, like, there are certain content creators that I used to follow, both on the internet, social media, and on YouTube, who I ceased to follow, because I realized that there is no nuance to what they deliver. What they do is just sort of feed a beast, and that beast is antagonism and misery. So, generally speaking, a lot of people are abjectly miserable with the course that their lives have taken. And so they get a cathartic release from seeing other people pent up and caught up in misery themselves. And so people like Akademiks fuel that, because, why not talk about Reginae Carter in this capacity, making it seem as though she's a broken, hypocritical woman? Because if she's perceived to be broken and hypocritical, then I'm playing upon I'm playing upon an abjectly miserable concept, and so I therefore can take advantage of my I can take advantage of the environment of the internet, and use that to my benefit, because I know that the majority of the people who consume my content are people who are looking to get that cathartic release uh, by basking in the abject misery of another individual, especially an individual who's supposed to be doing good, a la Reginae Carter. If he had actually got into some nuance behind his opinions on Reginae foregoing her relationship with YFN Lucci, maybe get into some specifics behind that, instead of just lacing his entire commentary with the N word and talking about thug life and how he's going to prison. Maybe I would have given him more respect for what he did with that. But otherwise, I kind of feel like he was just feeding an internet beast. And we talk often about internet troll world, and how internet troll world is different from real life. And he represents someone who exists solely within internet troll world. I wouldn't be shocked in any kind of way if we learn that in his regular private life, not as DJ Akademiks, he acts nothing like that. But he's leaning into his place in the internet world of feeding the beast because it pays him. And more power to him, I guess. But I just don't respect his brand of commentary, because I find it to be completely lacking in nuance, and otherwise just irresponsible in a lot of ways and incendiary. And it just disappoints me that he has such a large following, because it leads me to believe that you just have a lot of people who don't have the ability to think for themselves. And that's not to say that everything that he's done I haven't liked. There have been some things that he's done that I've appreciated, but more often than not, a lot of the stuff that I've seen has been stuff like this. And if you're gonna put someone's name out there, you need to substantiate the stuff that you're saying with some nuance and some commentary that has at least a hint of intellectual capacity in it, as opposed to just basically sounding like a hip hop DJ, and sounding like someone who is ill informed on the intricacies with respect to some of the issues that you bring up. And it just furthermore disappoints me, because this is the type of commentary that we see more and more in our culture. And I use the word culture facetiously, because I have talked ad nauseum about how uncomfortable I am with Black people being made synonymous with hip hop, and how that is our culture in and of itself. But be that as it may, this is just another instance of Akademiks being Akademiks. And so I'm not surprised that he went there, but I think it would behoove people to, and I'm using a word that I used in the last topic because I guess it's appropriate, but I think it would behoove people to unplug from this type of content, because I just don't know who it best serves. And yeah, don't mention the girl's name in this regard, because you don't know what they had going on in their relationship. You don't have any information. You have no details. You're using your inherent bias and inflaming it with incendiary language so that you can continue to get traffic to your channels. And even though I understand it and I get that it's the nature of the beast, I just don't completely respect it. But that was initially what I thought about it.
Yeah, well said. And the reason why I brought up the age of his viewers, because I used to watch Akademiks, when he was just on YouTube, and he was just covering the latest things going on with rap. Hey, why is Meek Mill beefing with blah 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 or whatever? It was with Drake, and so it was like I would sit there and watch it because it wasn't people covering it as much as him. He was very active. He was dropping stuff 2-3 times a day. And so I was sitting there watching it because he was keeping me up to date. So I was sitting there watching it, but over time, as I'm watching his content, I started to hear his character. And I wasn't really a fan of some stuff. Then even though I was still watching his videos, it got to a point where I was like, I don't like this guy. Why am I watching his videos? And then I just stopped. Eventually I unsubscribed, and I was like, I can't keep doing this. So that was me personally. But the reason why I brought up the age of the people, kids look up to older people. It's just what it is. And so Akademiks, I think a lot of the people who are fans of him are younger than him. And when they were becoming of age, he was their speaker. He was their voice. And he was talking about artists that they like. And all the other old head hip hop people wasn't covering the new up and coming rappers that all of these kids like. So he became their sway. And so it's like, hey, let's tap in with Akademiks because he's the one that's covering this, and he's covering it the way I like. And so those kids that were 11 years old then, they're probably 17, 18, 19 now, right there in the comment section going crazy. The kids that are new to this stuff, they're seeing all of this stuff, and just like how you said with the OnlyFans thing, well, they like it, this must be the wave. Everybody's here laughing. It's a good community. I'm a part of this. So what's the big deal? And so they listen to his opinions, they listen to his worldviews, and they always chiming in. Everybody in the chat is doing the same thing. And then they get caught in this little weird bubble. And now they're all academikites. And so I believe that those are his main core followers, and there's a lot of them. And I think those are his main core followers, just males. who are young, and him and his way of doing things, yes, modern internet trolley type of behavior, and that's what these kids are into.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that prop him up. He's created this narrative that if you don't like him and you're older, you're an old hater. So I guess I'm in the old head dusty category because I don't like his brand of journalism.
Stop
He is.
using that word.
I
It's
mean,
it,
I guess I guess there's a high bar for that word, but he
that is
is.
disrespect for the actual journalists.
I
He's just a
mean,
he's a content creator. That's all he is. He does not have any credentials. He's a content creator. Journalists have credentials.
that's fair. I hear you. And so to me, he has internet street credentials. If he goes to an event, he's got a press pass. Um, I never liked the air quote journalism that when I was younger, that some people were doing, but they were still labeled that. I'm passing by, in the grocery store, and there's all kinds of weird articles that's whatever that were written by journalists that I never co-signed for, and those were around for levels of brainwashing too back then. So there's only a there's it's like artists, real artists, you know, and they get labeled as a hip hop artist.
Exactly.
And then there's these people who aren't doing anything, but they're still in the hip hop genre. So that's academics. All right.
Yeah,
So
it's the same
term
dynamic.
yeah,
Yeah.
so term of course used loosely, but if you are in the genre, I'm going to call out what your genre is. But at the end of the day, academics and all of this stuff that he does, yes, antics and shenanigans. I don't co-sign none of it. I heard enough of how he personally thinks to know that this guy is just not cool in close quarters. He's not somebody I would like to have a beer with. He's not somebody I would like to hang out with. I mean, this guy was hanging out with 6ix9ine, all kinds of weird stuff. He's a Drake groupie, all right. He's a Tory Lane's groupie, all right, and amongst others. And this guy, he the way he plays the field and how he plays the game out here, I don't respect it. And so for him to do stuff like this and make the, like you say, inflammatory comments that he's making in this segment, I don't I definitely wouldn't put that past him. And so, but I hear the angle in which he was talking about because, I get that angle. But as you said, you ain't have to go there with it like that. You don't have to, and you're making a lot of assumptions, bro. You know? And so, but he's drunk and he's got hundreds of people in his comment section egging him on. And so
Mhm.
that's all it is. So yeah, it's just, this is classic academics. And I didn't even catch the comments that he made about Ti's daughter, but he did the same thing talking about Ti's daughter, because who cares about Ti's daughter? Not us. It's the kids. The kids that are in that bracket, the ones that's in 18 to 25 range, or the ones that's from 17 or 11 to 17 because they think she's cool or cute or whatever. And so he's speaking on kids topics, and he's talking about people's kids. So he's not talking about the parents anymore because they're not making the content. They're not making anything that he can make commentary on. So now he's talking about these people's children because they're more relevant and the kids understand that. So this is him doing his Mr. Rogers impersonation, and just only talking to kids. And so he can have at it. I think he's weird. I don't like his level of content. And if anybody that's running around with 6ix9ine and calling 6ix9ine your best friend or your friend or whatever, uh, that says a lot about that person as an individual. So academics is going to keep this up so long as these people that are propping him up at this age, those people are going to be up until adults. These people are going to be following him, propping him up, and making sure that he gets paid. So get comfortable out there, internet, because Akademiks going to be around for quite a while.
Yep, I hear that. Every time that I see because one of these guys pops up seemingly every year, there's a new Akademiks. Now, I will give Akademiks credit for this. He's been able to sustain a presence in this space over the course of a period of time. And so, in order to do that, it does require a work ethic. And I'm always going to respect people who have a work ethic. So I'll give him that much credit, right? I'll give him credit for having a work ethic and being committed to it, to see it through and try and build it as much as he can. I'm always going to respect that in a person, no matter what it is that they're doing, just because, the principled individual in me who's a worker. I respect laborers. I respect laborers, and I respect people who commit to a labor in order to see it come to a certain point. But whenever I see these guys like this pop up, Akademiks being among them, it makes me respect people like Howard Stern and remember the guy who got in trouble for calling the Rutgers basketball players nappy headed hoes, Don Imus. This was back in the 2000s. Like
Wow, that's
people like
throwback.
them. Yeah. Well, I'm old. So like, Don Imus, Howard Stern, people like Akademiks make me respect individuals like them because they were the progenitors of this type of content. But people like Imus and Howard Stern actually were formally educated in mass communications and some form of journalism, whether it be broadcast journalism or traditional journalism. So there are some credentials there, and they understand the importance of fact checking. They might not have been averse to using incendiary language and all of that kind of stuff, charged words. They definitely did that. They engaged in that. So I'm not going to make it seem as though they were above that, but they were not above fact checking. They were not above getting into nuance. And DJ Akademiks is apparently above that stuff because he just gets on he just rants. Like, he gets onto his channels and he just cusses and uses N-words and there's no substance behind any of his commentary, and that's why I don't respect it. But I do, nevertheless, it makes me appreciate some of these old heads who paved the way for people like Akademiks. But I just think that if I am going to say anything, it would be that I just think it's important for people to, consume content that, I'm not saying it has to be fluff and devoid of, because we cuss on this channel. So it's not about the language per se. It's more so about the nuance and the substance. I think that that's just the best brand of commentary, in my opinion. And you're not really offering up much in the way of any sort of information if all you're doing is getting on there and name calling and using charged words that can get people in trouble if they went out in the real world, in real life, in non-social media troll world, and parroted that same speech. So people like Akademiks, that's what they stand for. And so I just don't respect it. But I do understand what he's doing and I get it. I just don't think it's very good.
Yeah, and I'll just say this. That's all he does on that little feed that he does. I don't know if that's on Twitch or whatever the hell, but all he does is get drunk and shoot from the hip and just says whatever. And everybody in this comment section is rolling on the floor laughing, gassing it up. And so he's built himself a nice little routine of, oh, something happened. Where's the Henny at? Gets drunk and then rants. And if people want to call that entertainment, have at it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it's entertaining. Every once in a while, there'll be something that comes up and, I'll stumble across it because, well, he's the only person covering it. And then I'll see how he's covering it. And he's covering like a drunk man. And he's just being loud and just saying anything. And it's like, why did I even click on this? And so, but that's Akademiks for you. And like I said, man, The only people that's buying this crap are the people that's younger than him. And I would argue that if anybody that does watch him that's his age or older, those are the outliers on the bell curve of his viewers. So yeah, the kids that's got swept up in this, they don't know anything else. So I'm not faulting them for following him. It's just what it is. And yeah, he's a result of kid entertainment. He's just really weird, and he only appeases children. So
Yeah, he's the result of being able to to maximize internet troll world. Like he's
yeah,
the result of being able to leverage internet troll world. And like I said, much to his credit, I would just tell people, people who don't know any better. I understand and I agree with that, but I would just say, hey man, there's better stuff out there. And like, he even when he would, and I stopped watching. I used to watch modern relationship content. So I used to look at stuff like AMS and Pot and Fresh and Fit and all of that. Even Kevin Samuels, and I dialed a lot of that back because I realized that it was doing more harm than good to me, because it pertains to how you're coordinating relationships in internet troll world when there's a big world out there and there's a lot of people who don't ascribe to those behaviors. But nevertheless, even when he would be on Fresh and Fit, those guys would kick something that had substance and nuance behind the commentary that they were delivering. And he would just get on there and every other word was bitches this and bitches that. And I can get all these bitches and you bitches, blah, 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 blah. And I would just be like, why do they have him on here? He's not offering anything of value to this other than his antics. And, he brought down the value of the show. And that was part of the reason why I unsubscribed. So, but it is what it is. Team Reginae, Team Toya. I know T.I. has something to say in response to other comments that he made. Team T.I., all of that good stuff. I think Akademiks can stand to be taken down a peg or two. I don't really think that what he does is that good.
Yes, yeah, it's really not.
Sorry,
12-year-olds. He sucks.
For real. All right. On that note, man, we are going to go ahead and we are going.